Let's take a look at the other matches, shall we then, this weekend in the Premier League. Early start, Norwich City taking on Chelsea. Let's focus at that game at Carrow Road. It's not must-win yet, is it, for Chelsea when we reach that stage?
Well, it's must not lose. Particularly at Norwich, who battered from Liverpool, had a great result against Newcastle. But they're at home and they're feeling confident and they've scored some goals. And you know, I think it would have to be a bad Chelsea performance not to win, but I can't see it. No, I can't see it. The way they played against Leicester early on, if they do that, they're going to take Norwich apart. But if they don't play well away from home and Norwich beat them, Frank Lampard's going to be in the press conference again, and the questions are going to be the same.
If you're Norwich going into this is a nice situation to be in, isn't it?
Absolutely. They're flying. They've got a centre forward that looks as though the only thing he knows what to do is put the ball in the back of the net. They're at home, and I think Norwich are going to be one of those teams that in the Premier League, away from home, they're going to struggle big time. But at home, it's going to be all guns blazing and get after it with the crowd behind them. That's what I think this will turn into for City. And that means that Chelsea, they're fragile right now. And you know Frank cannot wait for the first win because that'll just take the weight off his shoulders. And when they get the fixture list, this probably looked like the ideal game, three games in. All of a sudden, this has turned into a wow. We don't want to be playing Norwich now because they are absolutely flying. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to see this as a draw, this game, because Chelsea, yes, for 20 minutes were fantastic last week. But you know what? For the other 70, they were awful.
Chelsea's problem is if they go out and they batter Norwich like they did Leicester early on and don't score again, and then they become ragged, and Frank Lampard talked about it, they became easy to play against. And as Stevie said, Norwich, I think, are going to approach it at home as, like, listen, we're not in this division to sit back. It's not our style. We're going to get on the front foot. And they'll create chances. If Chelsea become open, they will create, because they'd created chances at Anfield in the first 20 minutes before Liverpool blew them away. So they can do it. So it's going to come down to putting the ball in the back of the net again. That sounds simplistic, but it's been Chelsea's big issue when they've been on top.
What would concern me from a Chelsea point of view is that after that 20-minute spell, they just couldn't find the extra gear. That was it. They were pretty much out of it. On the training ground, how do you work on that? How do you sort that out going into this game?
Well, and I said it last week, for me, it's about defending properly when you have the ball.
Right.
And that means that when you lose the ball, there's not big holes everywhere. And if you don't have big holes everywhere, Chelsea, because they've got better players than Norwich, if they defend better behind the ball, when the ball turns over, they'll get it back sharp. I mean, let's be honest. There's nobody better at doing that than Liverpool. You know, Salah loses the ball an awful lot. Mane sometimes is very unpredictable, but he loses the ball a lot. But Liverpool defend behind them.
How do we get back to Liverpool?
Well, it's a great example of how to do it properly. Right. And if Chelsea can do what Liverpool do, then they'll win this game. But if they do what they've done so far this season, and there are all holes everywhere, then
you use Man City as an example. What's wrong with Man? Got to use Liverpool.
See Man City when they go.
Prediction then? Could Norwich get something?
Draw.
Really?
Yes. Draw all over it.
I'm going to say Chelsea are going to get their first win.